Hello there, welcome to General Talk, and this is episode 5. With the onset of winter, which is inevitable, we're going to talk today about general kind of riding techniques and what you need to do to defend yourself against winter. I've got with me today Grant and Bill. Now, Grant, I know that your car is broken, so riding through winter is just, it's inevitable. It's not an option to get in a car for you.
I mean, I ride through winter anyway, regardless whether my car's in one piece or not. So I always make the effort to ride my bike.
Okay, that's good. I mean, Bill, I think like me, there is a limit, isn't there? You have a car, I do, and there is sometimes you wake up in the morning and you go, nah.
I'm lucky at the moment because of obviously the coronavirus. My wife's working from home, so if she's not using the car for work because she's working from home, I've got the option when it's bad. But before Corona, I just did ride 365.
Yeah.
But at the moment, yeah. But I imagine it's going to go back. But yes is the answer.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, that's the same. Sometimes there's just too much. I think wind, cold and rain, when you get all three, it's not very nice. But assuming that you are going to be out in the bad weather, what do you do to combat it? What are your recommendations?
Well, I mean, I tend to wear things like waterproofs. So I know we're selling rain guard. That's a good option if you want to keep yourself dry. That's all I really do. I don't really do anything special. Yeah. What else do I do? I don't know.
Well, waterproofs, I suppose that's fairly obvious. There's different types of waterproofs. Your jacket might be waterproof. You might need an oversuit. I'm kind of thinking along the lines of keeping stuff off you in the first place. I mean, your hands, they're the first thing that gets cold. I've used hand guards now for a bit, and I find that they deflect the wind, and the wind takes the rain with it. And that's a pretty good form of defence.
And Bill, you use hand guards as well, don't you?
I've got hand guards. I'm not so sure on how good they actually are at keeping your hands warmer. I think there's more protection, definitely, but I didn't notice any difference from my hands being warmer by having hand guards.
Yeah, I think that they're probably not warmer, but they don't get cold
as quickly.
So quickly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And I know there's the hand guards that almost like a winter summer conversion, isn't it? You get some that are so big, and then you can add on an extra bit. That I think is quite a good addition for winter riding.
One thing I used to use was some Gerbing heated liners, which I found really good. I've never used heated grips. I think you guys have had heated grips before, haven't you?
I've got heated grips, yeah.
Because I found Gerbing liners are amazing. They're super toasty, but they're a bit of a faff to plug into your bike and then unplug. And then I kind of had to get bigger gloves to fit the inner liners. But I know
liners that go inside your glove.
Yeah. Obviously, we sell Gerbing actual gloves as well that are just the whole kit and caboodle.
I actually don't like the sensation of having a baking hot palm and a freezing cold back of the hand and maybe the tips of your fingers. It's almost like pins and needles for me.
Are you getting that from the heated
grips? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you pair it with the Gerbing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the gloves, the inner gloves are heated. And we also do the outer gloves that are heated as well, don't we? But I've worn inner gloves. I don't know about plugging myself in the rain. I've never tried it. They work.
They work.
I know people who literally are just like a Christmas tree. They got heated socks, heated thermals, trousers, jackets, heated seats. Even now, you can, don't you? As well as heated grips. Heated grips, I had on a previous bike, and the thing I like about them is they will keep your hand warm, and I agree with what you say about it's just the inner bit. But what I don't like about, say, having winter gloves is the bulk.
It's awful. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because
you need, obviously, and there's an argument that you need better feel and control in the winter than you do in the, or as much anyway, but you don't want to lose it. That's the point. You don't want to lose it. And I've always found bulky gloves don't like.
So do you wear thinner gloves then, but have hand guards? Is that how you get around it?
I have, I guess, what you call a 3-season glove, which is too warm in the summer, perfect for autumn and winter, but it is Gore-Tex. It's a laminate, so it's totally waterproof. And I've also got a vented pair of summer gloves. But the 3-season glove, they're almost like a summer glove. They're really quite you've got a good feel through them. And if need be, I'll just chuck in a pair of inners. Yeah, I don't have heated ones. I think they're silk or merino or something like that. But they work. They work.
The other, I mean, we're talking about riding, aren't we? Ourselves, not the bike. So, preparing ourselves for the ride.
Preparing ourselves for the ride. Yes, I mean it's defence against the onslaught of wind and rain. And again, something keeping it off you in the first place. A screen. I know
it's one of the first things I always go to change.
Yeah.
I go on the Facebook groups, ask which is the best screen.
Another thing that was really big for me is the fact that I changed my tyres. So now I've got Dunlop Mutants on it. I've actually got some grip because my stock tyres, as soon as there was the hint of rain, it was like ice skating. It was horrific. Yeah, I went out for a ride with Bill and he was witness to my ice skating and it was not fun. But
and were they a dedicated summer tyre then?
They were the OE Bridgestones, which were...
You actually lost the back end at Lewis, didn't you? The roundabout at Lewis, the back end twitched out, and you remember that.
But after having the Mutants, I can actually lean with confidence, which is crazy because I'm not used to the sensation of leaning and feeling confident about it. Is there a specific tyres you use when in the rain?
Not. I don't change to a winter tyre or a wet tyre. The tyres I use, I believe, have an extra dollop of silica in them, which is it provides a wet weather grip. And they seem to work pretty well, surprisingly well actually. But I mean the issue, I guess, the question of changing to a winter specific tyre makes a hell of a lot of sense. Something I think cars have been doing that. It's become more popular in the last few years, I think.
Kind of a German thing, isn't it, to change your tyres?
It's
in winter?
Probably a Swedish, that a bit further north. Yeah, Joe would be German. Yeah, but the Swedes do. They put studs and chains on theirs, don't they? I think there's a limit to that. But so the Mutants that you're talking about are a winter tyre?
They're an all year tyre. I mean, I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Getting a tyre that works all year round, like whether it's summer or winter or whatever. But so it's good for wet weather. It's good for dry. Yeah. It's just a good tyre. I think, Bill, you've got Pilot Road 4s.
I've just gone to Road 4s, yeah. I'm still scrubbing in the rear, so I can't tell you how good it is at the moment, but so you only hear good things about them. You never hear anyone complain about Road 4s, Road 5s at all, do you? So I'll just ride confidently once I've got them scrubbed in. Yeah, I think.
And talking about that, I guess, do you change the way you ride in the winter?
Yeah, I don't go into the corners so aggressively. I'm expecting cars not to see me as much because it's darker, or they've got more rain on the windscreens, or people coming back from coronavirus, not driving for ages. So yeah, I ride much more defensively in winter, much more, especially through town, through the city. It's
yeah, and that involves, I guess, leaving a bigger gap.
Bigger gaps, slow down. Not that I was going fast anyway, but and just really craning to find out at every junction that someone isn't overshooting it and braking because someone's coming, not because there's a white line. Yeah. So yeah, I do ride much more defensively in winter. You probably even noticed I'm wearing all my fluorescent gear now as well. I did.
Well, I remarked on your helmet, which I thought was kind of new yesterday. It looked very shiny, but it's one you've had for a bit. But yes, it's you can certainly see it. Yeah, and
same thing. It's just like I tend to be a bit less throttly and give more braking distance. The standard stuff. I
think it's all about just smooth movement, isn't it? It's you don't want anything. You don't want hard acceleration, hard braking. I've even thought about your suspension and we've talked about this before with the state of the roads. Hitting a pothole, if you bounce out of it, you're losing traction. If you soften your suspension up, you're not going to kind of bounce so much. And I think that might be, something as another sort of defense against losing grip.
I don't know if we've been, it's been an unreal situation for last year, but there just seems to be a lot of oil on the road as well I mean a lot. I don't know if that's normal amount, or I'm just, there wasn't many cars on the road for a year, or but it just seems to be a lot of oil on the road.
Oil specifically, or diesel?
Well, just you can see the rainbow in the road.
Well, there's been a lot of comments on the groups recently about, because I saw it this morning when I was coming in, just spots of what I assume is petrol all the way down into work, and I'm just thinking, with all the petrol chaos at the moment, people just overfilling their cars and going mental and having their shopping bags full of petrol probably doesn't help that.
I mean, that is a good thing about it is it's easy to see when it's wet. But I think that if you've had a period of dry, your first wet road is the most dangerous, because that water the road is dirty, and it just brings it all up. Yeah, you almost need a really good downpour to wash the road.
Do you guys make an effort to avoid painted lines and things?
Absolutely, and potholes. Yeah, you're going to spin out on a pothole if you're at an angle. So, and they've very nicely placed all of them right in the middle of junction exits, haven't they? Have you noticed that every junction exit has a pothole?
Yeah. I mean, there's one section of road that I do on the way in. I'm literally like that, slaloming to avoid the potholes, and they've recently resurfaced the road, and so each manhole cover now sits that much deeper than it did before. Great, thank you very much. Highways.
Motorcyclists really aren't considered when roads are put together. There's coming out of Hassocks, there's a manhole cover right on the corner, like as I'm turning, and it's like...
It must be an infrastructure thing, because every T-junction's got one just off the exit of a T-junction. You'll notice that now I've said it. But...
yeah, it's one of those things that you really question about the way that the UK roads were built, because a lot of countries in Europe, they just do not have their utility access points under the road. They're under the pavement, which is kind of sensible.
That is sensible, isn't it?
Yeah.
The UK not being sensible, what?
Strange, isn't it?
One thing for me is, I know Bill's used Visor Cat. I don't know if you've used Visor Cat.
I was literally just about to come on to that. I try and, I mean, my helmet is kind of open, and I don't like visors most of the time. So I've never used Visor Cat. And actually, before the other day, I've never come across it. But I was looking at it, and I was kind of intrigued. It looks quite clever, really.
Okay.
Have you used it?
I've not used it. Bill has.
I've got one.
You've got one? And does it work? I mean,
it works really well. You've got the squeegee, you've got obviously the cleaning solution if you want to give it a press as well, but just to pull up at a junction and just do like that. Yeah. And you've got a completely dry, clear visor for a minute, while you get to the next junction, and then you can do it again. Great.
So you've got a little reservoir in something that straps to your glove that you fill with a bit of cleaning.
I don't really think about that too much. That evaporates before I've used it mostly, I think. Yeah. But mostly it's just I think you'd have to be doing motocross to need to use the cleaner.
Right. Okay. So you're just using the
squeegee
wiper,
bit.
The squeegee bit. Yeah. I've got one of those on my glove, but I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really work that well. It's too hard, I think. But I know a lot of gloves do come with them.
Yeah.
But visibility, I mean, it's again, your visor. Yeah. Keep it clean. Get a new one for winter. And again, your screen, you might be able to see through your visor, but if your screen is big and that's covered in rubbish.
That's the other thing as well, is get a pin lock. If you haven't got a pin lock, get a pin lock. Yeah. To me, if you bought a helmet, you buy a pin lock if it hasn't come with one. They're a godsend for fogging up.
Yeah.
Stopping the fogging up completely.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because I bought a new helmet recently, and I had an option: do I go for that version or that version? One had a pin lock, one didn't. And because I rarely use a visor unless it is raining hard, I just use transition lens sunglasses. But I'm kind of, now that I'm commuting much more and the winter's here, I'm beginning to think I bought the wrong helmet, and a pin lock would have been a good idea. Don't. You live and learn. And I think, winter is not a time to avoid riding. It's just a time to kind of embrace it correctly. It's quite rewarding, I think, riding in the rain. You develop sort of your techniques, and you need to be cleverer about it than you do just in the warm weather. But keep riding through the winter. Why not? And I think that just about wraps this one up. This is Grant. This is Bill. I've been Matt. I still am Matt, actually.
It's good to talk.
It's good to talk. Yeah. Like and subscribe to our channel, and we've got some other videos if you could have a look at. And that's it for now. Thank you very much.